Hey, what's up, guys? Just want to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day. Well, this vlog's a little bit more personal to me. Today is a day in which my brother Michael, if everybody knows, may he rest in peace. I just want to give a little couple stories about me and him and everything else. Now, we grew up, we're only a couple years apart from each other and everything else. And everybody knows my brother died almost 7 years ago. And today is his birthday. And I just want to say to you, Michael, I always want a video that reflects, people in the family and everything else that has passed on or people that are here and everything else. But I just want to say to you, brother, I miss you dearly. Big time, big time. As you know that you were always my favorite. You and Jim were always special to me and everything else. I remember many, many times when we would sit around and we would go ahead and play quarters together. If anybody doesn't know anything about the quarters and everything else, it's a beer drinking game. Back in the day, me and my brother used to go ahead and, be out there and everything else. And I mean, we had a great time. I just wanted to give a tribute to my brother and everything else. I mean, I haven't done it ever because people, they get a little bit sensitive and everything else. But Dad's not sensitive about it and everything else. I love my brother Michael very dearly, very dearly. And today's his birthday. So happy birthday goes out to my brother. May you rest in peace, brother, and everything else. You'll always be in Dad's heart, and you'll always be in Dad's soul. And the family, my children were extremely close with my brother Mike. Extremely. My brother Mike used to live in my home. He lived downstairs and everything else. And he battled through a lot of things in his life and everything else. But one thing I will always say that I took from my brother was that he loved his family. And he loved, especially, him and my mom. Oh my gosh, may she rest in peace. And, but the way he loved my mom was crazy side. Crazy side. And not that, that any of us didn't love my mom the same way, but he was extremely protective over my mom. Always. I almost sometimes think that he lived his life just so that he can be with my mom and everything else. And again, this is a little bit more personal vlog and everything else that Dad's doing. But again, sometimes, you guys see all crazy shit and all crazy videos and everything else. But I just wanted to do this vlog in honor of my brother Michael. May you rest in peace, brother. And as I said, someday Dad will be, Lunatic Dad, your brother Larry, will be with you, will be with Mom, will be with Dad, will be with Jimmy, will be with, my wife's side, Jadek and Antoinette Yazenbeck and Yusef and everything else, and everybody who has passed in all of our families and everything else. Someday we will be reunited. And yes, it is also, I just want to give a special shout out to my brother Chuck, who served in the military, my father, who also served in the military and everything else, and to all the ones that have lost their lives while they were active in the military and everything else, and lost their lives for us to be able to even do what we do. So, I want to give you guys a little story about me and my brother Mike. Now, there was a time when Dad was a lot younger guy. A lot younger. I'm talking way young. But, Dad back in the day was a hellraiser. Back when I was in my teenage years and everything else. And I want to give a story one time. One time, there was a group of guys that came over to the house and they actually wanted to whoop Dad's ass and everything else. Because, like I said, I wasn't the most greatest person in the world and everything else. But he actually, this is a story, and my family could relate to this, the ones that lived in the house and everything up on 52nd and Sawyer, in which, I grew up on 47th and Walcott, but then I went and moved out with my brother Chuck, my oldest brother, out in Iowa, Clive, Iowa. Well, at that point in time, my brother, my mom, my sister Angie, and everything else, they went and bought a house on 52nd and Sawyer. Well, when I came back from Iowa, I went and lived with my mom, and how can I know I'm bluttering and blittering this vlog and everything else because it's kind of emotional to me. And, my brother Mike, these group of guys came over and they literally wanted to do bad harm to me. believe it or not, my brother Michael, he actually came outside and he said, "You ain't gonna do shit to my brother. You ain't gonna do shit. You're gonna have to go through me before that even happens, and everything." Now, mind you, at this point in time, my brother Jim already passed on. He was already gone, and he probably would have been the same exact way. There were certain members of Dad's family that we were extremely close. My sister Lori, my baby sister, my sister Vicky, and everything else. I mean, I'm giving you the names of my family members and everything else, and because it's very important in case someday Dad's no longer here or whatever the case may be, I have something out there just telling all my brothers and sisters, the ones that are still here and the ones that have passed and everything else. I love each and every one of you dearly. I mean, I'm all caught up in a lot of different things, and like I said, with the baby coming and everything else, and then I got another announcement down the line. I'm going to wait a little bit. Maybe it's actually pretty exciting and shocking and everything else. But, I've been like just sitting by the computer and everything else, and I've been looking at my mom's picture and everything else, my brother Michael and everything else, because I have them all. I have when we were younger, my brother Mike, my brother Jim, and everything else, and myself and everything, doing silly shit and everything else. That, remember those who have always meant something to you and everything else. I'm not talking about social media. I'm talking about your immediate family outside of social medias and everything else. Because at the end of the day, social media will pass and time will pass. But the only thing you got is your families, your wives, your children, and family. And as I said before, it's kind of an emotional time for Dad, because like I said, I just been like kind of like today on my brother's birthday and everything. I I was like, you know what, I gotta do a vlog. I know nobody likes these kind of vlogs, and I know it's just it's my emotional side and everything else. And I just wanted to say happy birthday to my brother Michael Anthony Mahalik. Okay, some of my older siblings will be like, it's not Mahalik, it's Michael. Like, no, it's Mahalik. Us younger ones, were a little bit more in tune with the world and everything else. So I just want to say thank you. Happy Memorial Day. Enjoy your family. Stay close to them. And remember, at the end of the day, you only have each other. You only have each other. Grow them memories. Don't forget the memories. If you're a person that's on social medias or whatever, do some videos. Even though some people, like I said, they don't like these type of videos with Dad and everything else. I know you guys don't and everything else. But it's not about you guys, okay? It's about the memory that I have for my family and my loved ones who have passed, and my wife, my children, and everything else. So that way they can always have it one day when Dad passes on and everything else, that they'll always have that. That is so key and important to me and my legacy and my children and my family and many generations ahead, my grandchildren, hopefully maybe someday great-grandchildren or whatever, if I'm lucky enough to live that long and everything else. So again, thank you very much. Happy Memorial Day. And never forget those who have served and those who have also lost. See, Memorial Day, in my eyes, and I know they just say it's for the military, but I also do believe it's also a time to just reflect on the ones that you have also loved that haven't served in the military. Remember, Memorial Day, in my eyes. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. You guys have an awesome day, and be good. Be good.